So we are going to talk through hips on the deadlift. Alright, so one of the lads, Kieran, was having an issue with his deadlift where first of all his hips were too low, and then second of all his hips were too high. Okay, so we'll just talk through the two of those. Basically, this is nice and light, but this is the most common mistake people make when they're first starting on the deadlift, which is they're almost squatting into it. So in the bottom position, people usually set up like this, and the bar is in line with the shoulders. So the bar here is directly below my shoulders, and my hips are really, really low, okay? Usually what will happen in this position, when you pull, the hips will come up first, and then the bar will leave the ground. So that's usually what happens. So we should then have some kind of understanding that, you know, rather than the hips being here, this is where the hips should be. So if you're doing a side profile on your deadlift, those shoulders should be slightly in front of the bar, and those hips should be fairly high. When I go from here to here, the angle of the back, so this angle should stay the same. So from here to here, it's almost like we're just straightening the knees. Okay, so there's the first portion of the lift, just straightening the knees. After that then, RDL. So we're doing a Romanian deadlift here, bend the knees, straighten the knees, RDL. Now the second problem Kieran was having when we addressed this was his hips are too high. So he started going, because he's got flexible hamstrings, he started going like this. And keeping the hips really high. Now in that case, what actually happens is, when the weight gets heavier, usually that corrects itself. So in Kieran's case, his hips are really high during his warm-up, but when he got to his heavy working sets, his hips actually dropped. So he was warming up like so, hips were high, but as soon as he got onto his heavy set, he realized that he didn't have the strength here, so he fixed here instead, and then he lifted. And why is that? Basically, when we're in this position, those hamstrings are on full length, and we're really putting a lot of the force through here. But when this gets heavier, your body realizes, well, I can't lift this with just my hamstrings, so I got to take the load a little bit away from the hamstrings, put it more on the glutes and a little bit more on the back, and now I'm able to lift the weight. Okay, so this is where you want to be. You don't want to be too high, you don't want to be too low, somewhere just in the middle. Straighten the knees, RDL, RDL, bend the knees. That's it. Thanks for watching.